So, step one, traditional letting agent marketing and why it absolutely doesn't work. I'm going to be sharing with you a story from a landlord that I know that's very close to me as to why this doesn't work and what the outcome was with that. Because every estate agent or every letting agent as well just looked the same. So, what is traditional letting agent marketing? It looks like this, it looks like this, and it looks like this. I'll leave this one on the screen for you to see. Basically, it's all about your features, your benefits, your fees perhaps. It's basically just a pitch and a bunch of reasons that you care about as to why they should use you, but probably mean nothing to the landlord. And this is the crucial thing here. Not only does it not engage the landlord, does it not mean anything to them, because everybody says the same thing. It doesn't mean anything to them because everybody says the same thing in the first touch point that they have with the letting agent. This is what their website says, this is what their direct mail says, this is what their social media says. Everywhere, this is the first touch point, right? There's no value, there's no interesting content, no nothing, all right? So how do you grow your business then? Typically, it's based on referrals. One landlord saying, yeah, look, my letting agent that I found, been working with for a few years, is an amazing letting agent. I know you're in need of one. I can give you their phone number if you like. They're amazing. You won't look back, right? That's it. That's the only way you have of hopefully getting some landlords into your business, okay? That's not a sustainable way of doing things. You don't need me to tell you that. And with 260,000 less privately rented properties in the private rented sector, that's an awful lot of landlords. Let's say on average, one landlord has 2 properties. That's still like 130,000 landlords potentially have left the private rented sector in the last several years. So your referral base, your referral audience there is shrinking. Your referral pool is shrinking, okay? So you need a way of getting landlords, reaching landlords, all the landlords out there, whether they're just becoming landlords, whether they're using another one of your competition, whether they're managing their properties themselves, whatever, you need a way of reaching all the landlords. So let me tell you a little story as to why this stuff just simply doesn't work if you go about it in the typical way. So my mum has a property. I think it's 22 to 23% of all the landlords out there just have one property. Either they've saved up and bought one, inherited one, or they've inherited something and they've gone and bought one, right? That's probably about a quarter of the potential landlords that you could reach out there, okay? So she had a letting agent who was going to be a really good letting agent. In the end, it really didn't work out. Got a terrible tenant. There should have been some reference checks in there, and basically they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. They fumbled the bag, and as a result, obviously they lost her as a client. So she was, of course, looking at letting agents out there in the local area and who should she go with. And all she really got from any of them, first things first, she didn't have a letting agent that she could look to after leaving this one and think, that's the one that I want to jump to, or that's the one I want to have a conversation with first, because she didn't actually know who these people were and who the brands were. So she did a Google search because they were all in obscurity at that moment in time, right? They were kind of almost alien to her, right? She didn't already know them and the benefits that they could offer her and why she should go with them over somebody else and all these kind of things. Let's go into Google, and what was she met with on all their different websites? Features, benefits, all this jargon, fees ranging from 8% to 15%, etc., etc. And in the end, there was so much just crap, essentially, that meant nothing to her as a landlord. And it was all about the stuff that the letting agents cared about their service versus what the landlords care about. She just decided to go back to the first letting agent, do a let only, pay them for that, and she has some property management experience from a few years ago and just manages the property herself, okay? So none of these agents were even with a chance of winning the business. She didn't even give them a phone call. She had a lot of research on Google as to the different ones and stuff. In the end, they all just looked the same, did the same thing. And as a result, there was no outstanding thing as to why she should use them, because it was all typical, traditional letting agent marketing. And so there's a landlord in your market that really somebody should have got because she was using a letting agent beforehand, and because they just simply couldn't do the job of expressing, or attracting that landlord to them, giving them any kind of value. The first touch point was basically just a pitch, and it was the same pitch everywhere else. Everybody missed out on that landlord, and it's probably the same for you if you look around your market and your competition. So that's traditional letting agent marketing, and that is a clear real life example of exactly why it does not work. Click the next video to find out how you can attract these landlords to you in a much, much better way. I'll see you there.